Thank you guys. So my name is Mehzad. I'm the Chief Information Security Officer of Venkat. Today once this topic was given to me, I was thinking this topic has two meanings. What does it mean? Big data for security purpose or the security for big data, right? So both are two things, but I will try to cover up with some initial introduction to big data, and then we will carry on. So the world where right now we are living, I remember we were talking about the terabyte and petabyte and exabyte, and now we are living in the age of zettabyte. And with this zettabyte, there are some interesting statistics which are saying that since last 2 years, the volume of data which has been created is actually more than the volume of previous worldwide data. So within 2 years, actually we have achieved the same level which was existing 2 years back. And currently they are saying in 2020, there is a prediction that the data will reach actually 40 zettabyte. And 40 zettabyte, if you want to understand in business language, it is 57 times the grains of sands in all beaches of this world. So imagine there was one philosophy that in this universe, our world looks like one grain of sand. But in big data, actually, the type of data or the volume of data in this world is going to be 57 times more than the grains of sand all over beaches in this world. Okay. Now, in this big data, there are different types. I will not go into detail, but just for interesting discussion, velocity is that type of data which has not yet adopted the shape of data. It is still under construction. For example, you are writing on your WhatsApp some text. So it actually has not adopted or it has not reached some of the typical data center data tables. So it is data in transit, which is not yet fully structured. That is the velocity, and then writing, of course, the typical unstructured and structured data, where most of the world is dealing with 80% of the data is unstructured. Only we are living with 20% structured data. Now, these data analytic techniques can be used. Some of my colleagues also explained that some will talk about what happened in the history, which is called descriptive analytics, and some way is predictive analytics, which can talk about future, okay, acceptable. But the third one is very disruptive because that is prescriptive analytics. And in this way, actually, the man can claim that they can forecast many things which was like mission impossible. You can simulate a lot of scenarios to predict actually with a lot of data supported by evidences that you can achieve this target. That is the kind of advice someone, let's say strategic level can give you, that you as a company can achieve a strategy if you follow 1, 2, 3, 4. So up to that level, actually I will say the technology is enhanced to go and assist a chief, let's say, strategy officer of a company to build this strategy for next 5 years or 10 years. Now, this big data is actually helping many industries, including telecom, including financial industry, including healthcare. So all these are integrated. And this integration actually, here I have this topic, like once it is with security, actually it is helping to actually explore more breaches, more malwares, and meanwhile helping us to actually measure the security in a way which can also help big data itself. So it's like guard the guard. So in this case, one of the good example is a fraud. Like a banking industry, if coupling their technology with big data, they can predict a fraud in advance. And you don't need to spend a typical time for manual calculation of a fraud profile. There are big departments, by the way, like 200, 300 people just sitting in risk management department, detecting frauds. But with the help of this technology, actually is a kind of threat for these guys, because this can be all automated and with the kind of full of evidences, supported by evidence that no one can actually later on can decline. Now, eventually it is going to help the business in a way so that they can meet their target and they can earn more revenue. Leave this. Now, last week or last month, actually, I was in Barcelona and I was attending Visa and MasterCard Security Summit. And there was a good discussion that MasterCard or Visa card was saying that if there are like 2 billion and 3 billion credit cards, with the help of big data, they are actually top of all banks, they are also monitoring the behavior of different customers. For example, a guy used to just spend $10, $20 suddenly and mostly doing shopping within Pakistan. If come across different countries and within 1 hour span of time, it means that is a kind of suspicious activity which can be detected by, these are called world-class security monitoring center, in addition to individual security and fraud management department within each bank. So the top level industry and the banking industry, they are right now coupling with each other with the help of big data to detect frauds, where most of the time, to be honest, the root cause is cyber security or cyber breach. So may I say, I remember we discussed there, like the time has come, the big data, fraud people and cyber security people, actually they should sit together. There should be no typical isolation in between fraud, business analytics and cyber security guy. Whether we like it or not, they all come under one umbrella, because you never know, something in the name of cyber security is going to cause a fraud and vice versa, and something in the breach of business analytics can end up giving you a data or customer data leakage, right, if it is in wrong hand. So all they should be coupled with each other. And with security, the technologies up to this level, उर्दू में कहते हैं कि भूसे में से सुई तलाश करना, it's like that. So you can end up having this type of very, very complicated security, which says find me a blade of grass of height h, width w, color g, from field f, cut at time t, and change color to g, and time is t1, t2, and t3. Look at the complex theory, and the answer you can get in seconds. This was, of course, not possible if big data was not existing. However, with all this appreciation and giving credit to big data, unfortunately, there are issues. So everyone was going with a happy life, right? Everything was going smoothly. Commercial sales people were happy because they start getting increase in their sales. Security people, they start getting more analytics top of their normal analysis. Social media, security, customer profile, and all these people or departments, they will start showing good progress. Suddenly what happened? I call it the perfect storm. What happened? Stop. Why? Because you all end up having regulations, issues, and breaches. Because if you remember, the internet was launched in this world without thinking about security. Unfortunately, we didn't learn the lesson. We did the same with big data. We all in hurry for our analytics, and at the end we say, okay, hold on, where is security? And then it is too late, because you have to start from scratch. You have to build a lot of things, and there is a huge cost behind this. And then, of course, regulators will start picking up, bridges are coming. So my advice is, rather than having this kind of storm, we should go, no matter the pace could be slow, but go gradually. Don't be part of a competition of launching digital services, because some other bank is launching or some other telco is launching, I should be in hurry. Remember, the brand reputation is the most important thing. One single security breach can put you 200 years back, whether we like or not. Now, this is the trend. The challenge in the big data security. There's a big list. So as I said, big data was not introduced in the beginning while keeping security in their mind. In that case, most of the issues are with access control. People want full access. I mean, this is natural. They say, if you really want me to give you best analysis, give me full access. Don't give me as far as the big data is there, with all possible information. Each and every guy, I will say, people work like horses. Horses, they walk like this. They don't see here and there, right? So everyone, unfortunately, you will find is to some extent is selfish. It's just trying to find the relevant customer information at the cost of customer privacy, because it is there. So we need to put right access control with right profiling that who needs what. This is very important. I will not discuss all, but one of the good examples is logging and monitoring. Having big data actually put more load on your security monitoring. It's a huge cost, because you have to see that the big data is being utilized as per actual agreed requirement or not, or if there is abuse, you never know. So, and then the top of this, the big data, again, remember, it remains at our own interpretation. You look at this example I have given, a woman without her man is nothing. Now the big data will never ever tell you that how they should read this. Someone may say it is a woman without her man is nothing. Other is a woman without her man is nothing. So this type of things, and this is reality. This type of thing, who will decide? So someone will have to go and feed this information. Otherwise, we will have a lot of surprises. And this is another example. Big data will say, that someone is trying to lifting the body. So what is the best practice? Should I lift from the head? Should I lift in that way? Who will guide this? Again, it depends upon the culture, the country, the geopolitical environment, from where this big data is being actually implemented, because something which is positive for us could be negative for other culture. So that type of, I will say, feed should go to big data. And eventually privacy, the core privacy, I also said in the morning, forget this word, especially in the dictionary, it should be no more. And so we all end up actually breaching the privacy with the help of this big data. And eventually it impacts you, me as an individual, where there is no more hidden curtain which should say what is your age, what is your spending trends, what are your eating habits. All this is now a clean sheet for many people in the name of profiling. It's available. I know personally there are some companies which are no more interviewing me. They put you in front of a bot for interview. And then they just feed, they tell they just ask you what is your Facebook ID, what is your Twitter ID. And based on that, actually your profile is already decided. US immigration, mostly now they decide about your visa once you go for one-to-one interview within 30 seconds. They don't ask questions, because someone already, they just ask, give us 10 days after you apply, and during these 10 days actually you are being checked using all this mechanism through big data. So you end up having 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, depending upon your contribution on the Facebook. So all of your emotional, I will say, status, your actual status, whether it is matching or not, like you look very much religious on Facebook, but in front of a live interview, you are a different guy. So that conflict can be taken negatively as our point of view and this immigration, techniques. And at the end, we end up having this type of privacy breaches. Like there was a company Target. They start sending actually advertisement or kind of discounted voucher for some Pampers for a teenage girl which has not yet declared that she is pregnant. Even her family was not actually aware of this. But once they received this, and because she was being monitored at the cost of big data privacy, she was, all of her friends, like she was purchasing vomiting, for example, pills, anti-vomiting pills, and showing interest in babies. So they discover it means she is pregnant, and then we should start actually proposing and marketing our vouchers, shopping vouchers for Pampers. Anyhow, so what is the solution with all this problem? My advice is that a time has come that big data, no matter it is a great mind, but it should be run by some principles. It should be run by some policies. So whether it is confidentiality policy, is integrity policy, authentication policy, authorization policy, and it should be set for a database administrator, for the simple analyst, and they should know that they are being monitored. This is very important. Each and every query in the name of data analysis, to be honest, it should be logged, should be backed by some kind of trouble ticket. Otherwise, it is a privacy breach for our valuable customers. And network point of view, we should try to have a kind of air gap. Air gap means the enterprise data should be kept separately, and the big data should not be mixed with that. If that air gap is there, we will be having less surprises. A very high level, I'm giving a kind of maturity framework, assuming big data was introduced with no control, which is a zero state, but gradually you can go and achieve this. So there is a kind of ladder which can be followed in for the security of big data. So initially I'm asking only to use authorization, authentications, auditing, and later on you can go up to encryptions and very advanced level cryptography to make sure big data is not being abused. This is the ocean of, I will say, vendors involved. I will not name anyone, but you can see how many players are there. My only one concern here is, you might be choosing great framework, but you need to get help from at least 10, 20 companies. One company not doing their job perfectly in the name of security can actually put you overall in trouble. So no matter the rest of 19 companies are great, one insider with no care for security can create a disaster. So please be careful while selecting such system integrator. This is my last slide. I see big data is like someone has claimed that he is owning a kind of water lake, but in the middle of the city. And he is dreaming that although this is a water, because the water behavior is what? Water always like to be leaked, and water always like it should be flowing without any control, but you are putting in one lake, and this lake again not out of the city, in the middle of the city. And the owner of the lake is saying, guys, by the way, if you want my water from my lake, you'll have to follow my authentication, my authorization process, which obviously, they will resist, because there are people, there are even animals, they will love actually to go and abuse, the physical boundary of this water lake to get their access. So this is the ongoing, I will say, is battle. But we need to make sure that we are top of this and introducing security control where actually customer, I will say, revenue being achieved or the company revenues are being achieved, but not at the cost of customer privacy. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mehzad, for sharing your insights on the importance of the security. Now, since morning we have been discussing data.